Hello, my name's Guenther and I'm here to talk very briefly about the Remote Education Systems project, which operates under the Cooperative Research Centre for Remote Economic Participation. Over the years there's been a lot of talk about the apparent failure of remote education systems for particularly Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander communities. In very remote Australia, Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people make up 50% or thereabouts of the total population. And so it's a very different context than mainstream Australia. A lot of the emphasis though on getting the education system right has been on providing extra resources and getting better quality resources on the supply side of an equation that sees resources leading to outcomes, outputs at school, and then outcomes in terms of work, in terms of higher education and training, and in terms of socialisation of children. But very little attention has been given in recent years to the needs of the demand side of the equation. That is, what do parents and caregivers actually want? What do students really need? What do employers demand from the education system in very remote Australia? So there are some very real questions about the nature of the demand side of the remote education system that haven't been answered, and they're the kind of questions that we want to answer in the Remote Education Systems project. We'll be asking 4 questions, and the first perhaps is the most important. What is education for in remote Australia? If it's not about the same kind of things as the mainstream, what will it look like? The second question is, how can we define success from the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander community perspective? The third is, if we've defined success from their perspective, how does teaching need to change in order to produce those successful outcomes? And fourthly, having determined what the successful teaching methods are, how does the education system as a whole need to respond and change to actually meet the needs of remote Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples? How are we going to do this? These are big questions. Over the next 5 years, we're intending to have 5 action research projects in Western Australia, Northern Territory and South Australia that will run concurrently. Those little projects will come together at the end of the period of time in a synthesis of learnings, a cross-cutting synthesis that will then help us understand better the needs of the remote Australian context more generally. We'll also be using some quantitative data sources such as NAPLAN, Australian Bureau of Statistics, National Centre for Vocational Education Research, and school level data to inform our research. But ultimately we're looking for outcomes, we're looking for impact, things that will make a difference for remote Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander communities and their children and their futures. And that's what we're about. Thank you.